Hey, boys and girls, young and old, it's time to chat with Santa. Sponsored by Jax and Bloom Dancewear.
Very good. Welcome in. I am Gregg Screws, WHNT News 19, and I think this guy needs no introduction. You know who this is. This is Santa Claus. Hello,
Good
Santa.
evening, everyone.
How are you?
Very well, very well.
Well, first of all, before we got a lot of questions loading up, and before the elves start getting to us here, I just want to thank you very much. We know you're extremely busy. You got a lot to do, and you have managed to find some time for us. What is it like at this point, this close to Christmas Eve for you?
It gets a little hectic. Everybody's on the rush. There are still elves that are working on production. We have everyone, all the packages are categorized by location, state, and so everything is working fine.
Everything's hitting on all cylinders.
Every one of them. You know, we've had a lot of practice.
Yes, absolutely you have. Speaking of elves, we've got a lot of elves hitting on all cylinders too. These are our elves. Elf Lori, Elf Aaron, Elf Becky, helping us out with the questions. And I'm just going to go ahead and start diving in. We had one here this is from Destiny, who lives in Boaz, Santa, and I think this is a great question. How do you keep warm traveling on Christmas Eve night? Now, obviously here it's going to be a little warm from what Ben says, but there are going to be places it's going to be so cold. So how do you stay warm?
It can be cold, but you've got to understand that I have such a warmth that's emanating from my heart that I can never get cold. The winds don't bother me. Everything is just like a fine summer day.
That is certainly a great answer for the season as well. So let's check in with the elves a little bit. Elf Lori, do you have anything? You want to weigh in with some questions here from some of the kids?
I would love to do that. We have a lot of emails that are coming in from the kids, and I'll go ahead and start with this one, which is from Canyon in Russellville. Canyon wants to know, Santa, how does your sleigh get around the world as fast as it does?
Yeah.
And what happens if one of your reindeer gets caught in a tree?
Yeah, oh, no, that would be bad if a reindeer got caught in a tree. But how do you get around as fast as you do?
There's some secrets that we just don't let out. I mean, NASA would be wondering, how we can get from here to the Mars, and around the moon. But needless to say, we go much faster than speed of sound and pretty close to the speed of light.
And it's a quick trip. You're moving very fast.
It's just like a snap.
And explain yesterday how, because there's a lot of kids out there who are thinking, we don't have a chimney, but you were talking about dryer vents and just little crack. You don't need a whole lot to get in.
No, there is a lot of magic to delivering the gifts. Sometimes it's as simple as having a magic key and being able to go in the front door. Sometimes it is slipping around that dog that becomes very questionative as I enter. But the movements are so fast that all he can see is a blur. And that's why a lot of times the child will see a Santa here and a Santa there, but it's actually the same Santa everywhere.
And I want to remind parents one thing about this is that, we're getting a lot of questions. So maybe your child has a question that's similar to another question. So mom and dad, if you hear a question that's similar to the one that your child has emailed or asked, help us out and just say, hey, little one, this question is very similar to the one. So you got to listen here for this question. All right, Lori, Elf Lori, do we have another one?
We do. Aaron's going to take care of this.
Aaron, what do we got?
Okay, 3-year-old Brianna from Sylvania would like to know what you feed your reindeer to make them fly.
What do you feed the reindeer? Because these reindeer, they're athletes. They really are something. What do they eat to get ready for this big night of work?
Well, once a year, they get a special diet of magical oats and corn. And they practice all year long to build up their muscles anyway. But that's what gives them that little extra oomph that allows them to fly.
And what's amazing is how well they work as a team. They know what each other's thinking, don't they?
Absolutely, and they get part of that from their soccer practice. They work as a team. They work as a team with the elves. They work as a team together. And, of course, 4 feet against 2, the reindeer usually win.
Yeah, I'm betting on the reindeer on that. All right, let's check back in with the elves and see what else we got over here. Who have we got now? We got Elf Becky, I believe.
That's right. And I want to tell you, Santa, that Michael from Huntsville wants to know, does Santa shave in the summer?
That's a great question. You have one of the best looks, and the beard is fantastic. Do you ever shave it all? Do you shave it in summer at all, or is this something that's been there a long, long, long time?
24/7, 365 days a year. Summertime, well, I get to be a little incognito. You might see me in a Hawaiian shirt, sunglasses, shorts, sandals. I can get comfortable, and summertime and springtime happens to be when Miss Claus likes me to take her for a vacation.
Where does Miss Claus like to go?
Oh my goodness, we have been all around the world. Yep. And there are so many places, and some places that are very common, yet hidden, and it gives us our privacy at the same time. We get to enjoy the beauty of this wonderful country.
Absolutely. Let's check in with the elves again. Who do we have? Elf Lori?
Elf Lori
Very
is up,
good.
and I've been getting a lot of emails here. First off, Trixie says that she wants a car for Christmas, so she wants to make sure that she's on your list. We also have Kristen, who says that she would like a Nintendo DS Lite for Christmas. And then we come up to Sierra. And Sierra says, thanks for the wonderful presents last year. Had a great time. But she wants to know, what is your favorite cookie?
Very good, because and that's great that a lot of the kids, when they email, they say thank you for what I got last year. But a lot of people leave the milk and cookies out. So what do you like cookie wise? What are your favorites?
Cookie wise, I like cookies. Cookies, they
Like
can be
any
chocolate chip cookies. They can be chocolate oatmeal cookies, raisin cookies. Cookies are my weakness. I also have a weakness for egg rolls.
Yeah.
And pizza rolls.
Yeah.
And just pretty much anything. Barbecue sandwich is fine too.
The Santa diet. I think I'm on that too. I love that, but I don't have near the magical power you've got. All right, let's check back in with the elves and see what else we've got.
Okay, Santa, 11-year-old Carla Smith would like to know if she is on the naughty or nice list. And then we've got 5-year-old Hannah. She wants to know how you're going to get inside her house to bring her presents.
So very good. How do you know? How does a kid know if they're on the naughty or nice list? And how do you get when a kid wants to specifically know how you get in? How do you know how to get in a specific kid's house?
Well, first off, we have a book of chimneys, chimneys of the world. So we get to know the structure of all chimneys to begin with. We also know if they don't have a chimney. That's a part of the GPS information that I have in my sleigh. And when we realize that it's without chimney, then I double check the key, check the security system, because we have to make sure that the bells and whistles don't start going off in the house. And at the worst case scenario, I've got to enter the same way a draft would enter their house.
Gotcha. Wow. Let me ask you, in the sleigh, I saw the time delay button. Explain the time delay button before we go back to the elves.
Time delay. What a wonderful thing to be able to get just a couple of extra minutes.
Yep.
There are sometimes that we have to have that just to be able to get to the next location. The world has grown. The number of people that we see each year continues to change. The numbers change. People sometimes grow up and stop believing. And then there are those that are the new believers. So that's all a part of the mechanics of the scheduling software that we use. And it works fine.
Let's check back in with our elves and see if we've got another question. Who have we got? We have Elf Becky.
Okay, this little girl's name is Bradley, and she's 2 years old, and she would like to know what you feed your reindeer.
Yeah, we're talking about what the reindeer like to eat.
Well, their favorite is moss, in their natural setting. If you are referring to what kind of a snack you could leave for the reindeer, some lettuce, some carrots, and perhaps some water, because they get thirsty on their long journey.
Oh, absolutely. Before we go back over to the elves, one of the things that you get a lot of questions about, and some of these questions that certainly reflect the reality of families in the time, and this one is from Layla, 7, and Braden, 2, from here in Huntsville. It says, are you going to be able to go to my mom's apartment and my dad's house? They don't live together, and this is the first year that you will need to go to 2 places. So how do you manage that? That's the first question.
Well, please understand that, we try and keep all of our records updated to the moment. And we, in that updating of records, have those locations in place. We will make sure that we visit both places.
And they want to know, can they leave you something other than milk, like coffee, tea, or Mountain Dew?
Water is the best thing.
Water's the best.
Water's the best.
Very good. Let's check back in with our elves and see who we've got.
Okay, well, I wanted to say first off that Carlin, who is from Albertville, wants an Easy Bake Oven. She wanted to make sure that she got that order in. And then we've had a couple of kids who've asked the same question, both Jordan from Hartselle and Jesse from Fayetteville, want to know how old you are.
Great question. How old is Santa?
I quit counting after 562.
Well, I don't blame you.
It's just at a point, where it becomes redundant.
You're holding up pretty well for at least 562.
Well, it's a youthful experience to do what I do.
So the first year you went out, what was Robert Reeves like?
Robert Reeves, great grandfather.
Yes.
Was one of the original settlers. So
yeah, I'm just going to.
We'd have to discuss that later.
I'm going to deny I ever said that, and don't tell Robert. Let's go back to the elves. See what we've got. Who have we got over here on the elves with a question?
Right.
This is Elf Aaron. Do we have Aaron?
Yeah, Santa. I know that oftentimes you have children, come and tell you what they want for Christmas. However, Ethan from Huntsville would like to know what you want for Christmas.
Yeah, because, you're working hard and you're providing so much joy for the world. Is there something you would like? How does this work with you for Christmas?
Whether it's Christmas or whether it's a parade, my greatest joy is to see the smile of a child, to see the wonder in his eyes.
That's your gift.
That's my gift. And to see that same thing from an adult adds to my twinkle, and it just continues to warm my heart throughout the year.
What does Mrs. Claus get? What do you get her?
What do
you get Mrs. Claus?
Anything she wants.
Anything she wants. Good answer there, absolutely. Let's check back in with the elves and see who we got. We got Elf Becky here.
All right, this little girl, Destiny from Boaz, wants to know how you keep warm traveling on Christmas Eve, and also Nick and Emily want to know, how do you travel?
Yeah, let's talk about exactly how you travel, like the sleigh. Give us the schematics on the sleigh here. Because I saw it yesterday. It's big, it's sturdy, it's got some of those secrets in it, but talk about how much work and how much maintenance goes into the sleigh.
Well, I have my chief maintenance elf. His name is Elf Ramon.
Elf Ramon.
And he had to work real hard last year with the FAA because when we changed the sleigh,
right,
they were looking to make sure that it was properly certified and airworthy. The elves do a good job with the maintenance, and I always feel very comfortable when we go out on flight.
And you've got, do you want to talk about the silencers?
Oh, the silencer is in place tonight.
This is important because, as fast as you move, there's some noise involved, but there's a reason you don't hear the noise.
Well, if you heard the previous broadcast and you heard that awful noise, you would understand why we have to put the silencers on there. But right now, if you were outside and we were to be flying the sleigh beyond you, you would just hear the whish of the wind.
Just hear the wind. Very good. Let's check back in with our elves and see what we've got.
All right, then. Well, let's see. I have Gracie from Kilpatrick that wants you to know that she wants a Nintendo DS and a Barbie doll house. Brianna from Florence wants a Princess Dream Castle. And then Lorelei, who is 10 years old from Albertville, wants to know if she can open her presents right now.
Yeah, so we have a question. This seems to me to be an important question. She wants to know if she can open the presents now. but they're not there, right?
Well, I'm sure that they have some presents under their tree right now. You know, moms and dads and friends provide Christmas presents for the children, and then I get to kind of top everything off.
Yeah.
So the ones that are under the tree now are reserved for that wonderful moment, Christmas morn.
Let's talk about something I want you to touch on is obviously, you know, the whole naughty and nice thing. The kids need to be good. How have the kids in general done this year?
They've been pretty good. As I've looked through the pages of the big book, most of the pages are glowing. There have been a few pages that are singed somewhat. But like everyone, sometimes people have a bad day.
Right.
You know. And in their heart, to me, all children are very nice. They have the warmth in them, and that's what's important.
Well, let's say there's somebody, there's a kid who thinks, gosh, I'm on the line here, and I've really got to make up for it in the next 3 days. What do you tell that little one who's stressing a little bit because they feel that they might be on the line between the naughty and nice thing?
Well, the first thing I'm going to tell them is this is really a whole year project, you know. And so just make the mention to mom and dad, hey, look, you know, I might have been a little bit on the edge a few days, but I'm going to try real hard to do better, and that scores you a lot of points.
Scores a lot of points. That's good to hear. Let's check back in with the elves and see if we have anything else that the elves have with questions from the kids.
We have a question from 4-year-old Jewel in Huntsville. She wants to know, how can Santa carry so many presents in one tiny sleigh?
Great question. How do you get all the presents in the sleigh?
Well, my sleigh has a button for wormhole transport. It used to be that my bag had a black spot in the bottom. You got to understand that it's kind of like working with a wormhole. As I remove a present is added at the bottom. That's why it's so important for the elves to have my deliveries scheduled properly. And there have been times that I have pulled the wrong present. But that's pretty much the way it happened. Now, with my new improved sleigh, I can have the elves actually bring me more than one bag at a time. And I have a large storage compartment.
How do you communicate with the elves? Like if you've got to talk to them in flight, how do you do that?
Well, I have a microphone that is in the sleigh. We have two-way communications all the time. Sometimes I wear an earpiece, but most of the time it's an interruption in the Christmas music that I'm listening to, and then I have a hands-free mic, just like the Bluetooth in your car.
Very good, very good. Let's check back in with the elves. Do we have more questions?
We sure do. This one's from Abby. Abby's 10 years old. She's from Huntsville. She says, Santa, I was on the naughty list. How do I know if I've made it into the nice list? And would you bring her new puppy, Jackson, some toys?
Very good. Okay, she's got a new puppy, wants to know if you do toys for puppies, and also wants to know if she's moved from the naughty list.
Well, she will definitely know that come Christmas morn. She is. I think that she's going to be okay. I noticed that there were some glowing things that she had done this year, and being kind to her puppy is definitely one of them. Just keep trying.
And she's wondering about, do you bring? It would be tough for you to bring gifts to puppies, wouldn't it?
Not giving gifts to puppies.
Right.
That's okay. I can bring a puppy a bone. It's just that I can't bring her a puppy.
Right.
You know, the FAA has a closure limit on me in bringing any kind of live pets. I mean, can you imagine the back of my sleigh? Alligators, dogs, cats, chickens, birds, snakes. It goes on and on. That would be an awful mess. And we just don't have the facilities for that.
And there's not enough Benadryl in the world to calm those animals down. Golly, that would take a lot of Benadryl. All right, let's check in with the elves again. Who we got? We have Elf Lori.
We do, and we have lots of emails here. For example, we have Madison, who has sent a very long list. I'll just print this one off and give it to you in a few minutes, Santa. We also have Catherine from Boaz, who wants an acoustic guitar. You just answered Brianna's question about how she knows if she's on the good list. So let's go to 6-year-old. Well, it doesn't say who the 6-year-old is, but it's from Joe Bob. And this person wants to know how many elves you have.
Great question. How many elves you got?
One more than what I need. Actually, there are so many elves, I couldn't tell you exactly how many we have. Those little guys, they move so fast that it would be hard to get a head count.
You know, for me, Elf Ramon was kind of a new thing. So Elf Ramon, is he like the crew chief on the sleigh?
He is the crew chief for maintenance of the sleigh. He's worked on that sleigh with me since we first came to the New World.
Wow.
With the Dutch. And, you know, after so many years, last year, he came to me and he said, look, Santa, I have patched the patches so many times.
Let's get a new
I'm worried. And so Mrs. Claus sat down and she said, you know, I think it's time that Santa had a new sleigh. So we took that on as a task.
Very good. Elf Ramon, the crew chief with the sleigh there. Let's check back in with our elves. Elves, we have anything else?
We do. We have siblings Noah, Jasmine, and Isaiah from Huntsville. They would like, well, first off, they said that they wanted to thank you for all that you do and for all their presents and everything. And Jasmine would like to know if you like chocolate milk.
Do you like chocolate milk?
Chocolate milk, white milk, orange juice, water, and anything is wonderful to dunk your cookies in. You know, water's a little kind of bland.
Yeah.
You know, to dunk your cookie in, but chocolate milk is fine. Yes.
Very good. And before we go back to the elves, this is one that I like. Haley from Fayetteville wants to know how do you work with the reindeer when you get on a roof that might not be as sturdy as it needs to be. It might even be broke, you know, a roof that's got some shingle issues, or it might not be sturdy for all those reindeer and all those gifts. How do you work that?
Well, that was one of the things that we wanted to build into the sleigh, our new upgraded sleigh. We have a couple of devices. One's called vertical lift. Then we have our locking clamps, which will lock the sleigh to the roof so that it won't rock. Mm-hmm. And we have our wormhole transport. So once we have landed and I have returned to the sleigh, I can simultaneously push the button for vertical lift, and the locking clamps break loose, and like a Harrier jet, the sleigh goes straight up in the air. Then it switches over to reindeer assist, and off we go.
And I was going through some Santa files. So, Aaron, this might have been one you asked a while ago from Joe Bob about have you ever gotten sick on Christmas Eve? Did you do that one, Aaron? Let's go with that one. So,
we got that one in the newsroom, yes.
Very good. So how have you ever gotten sick on Christmas Eve where you just catch a cold or you don't feel well? Or you backed out or something?
My elves take very good care of me. My wife makes sure that I see my doctor regularly. They have been watching my weight this year. So, you know, it's a very important thing. I make sure I get my flu shot. I might have a sniffle or two, but it's never been too bad.
It's all about keeping Santa healthy. There's a whole big support system there to keep Santa healthy and ready to rock on Christmas Eve.
Yes, sir.
All right, I found one here. Y'all want me to do this one I found, or elves, you got one?
Sure.
This is another one from Hayden from Fayetteville. Do you use the reindeer, particularly Rudolph, on anything else during the year after Christmas Eve? Like, do you take them out places? Do they go places?
Well, at the North Pole, the reindeer enjoy the snow. They enjoy the cold. They enjoy going through the woods and wandering around. That's their entertainment. We don't specifically carry them down to the Great 48 because the difference in temperature. But the reindeer work very closely with the elves, and basically they're in training all year. And from the great herds, and there are as many reindeer as there are elves, from the great herds, they are constantly working to get their next place in line so that they can all be a part of the sleigh team.
Absolutely. Don't blame them for that. Let's check back in with the elves. Elves, what do we got?
Well, I had a note from Alyssa. She says, Dear Santa, I would like a glow book for Christmas. And what's on top of your Christmas tree?
Yeah, what's on top of your Christmas tree at home?
Oh, my goodness. It depends upon which one. We have many Christmas trees in the house. We have Christmas trees in the workshop. We've got Christmas trees on the streets going to the workshop. I don't think that there is a place at the North Pole complex that doesn't have a Christmas tree. What's on the top? Everything ranges from angels and stars, flowers. We have a Hawaiian tree.
Yeah.
We have a Mexican tree with a sombrero on the top. There are so many trees. It's as though we have a tree for each country, as well as I have a name that is different in each country.
Very good.
And so we all get to celebrate that and share the traditions all around the world.
And one thing, as we come up here, we're probably 4 or 5 minutes away from ending this. I just want to tell you, kids, if you don't hear your question, you don't hear your email read, rest assured we are going to make sure that everything that comes in tonight, we're going to compile it, and we're going to give it to Santa in a zip drive, and he's going to take it with him. No, I do want to do this one, though. This is from Imogene in Rainsville. She wants to know if she can have Justin Bieber for Christmas. Now, this presents some challenges. If you can't deliver live animals, you sure can't deliver live human beings.
That's a little tough, you know. We might be able to find where he's having a concert for, though.
I could check on that.
Yeah. But I don't think that Justin's going to be available.
Yeah, the human being. If we can't deliver baby basset hounds, we can't deliver human beings. All right, let's check back in with the elves.
Okay, well, Chance Pepper from Elkmont wants a PS3. Desiree and Zora say Merry Christmas. And then we have 5-year-old Lily, who's in Decatur, who wants to know how you get down the chimney without getting stuck.
Yeah, great question. How do you get down the chimney without getting stuck?
I hold my finger aside of my nose, and in a flash, down the chimney he goes. We check the chimney books. We make sure that we have plenty of clearances, and you can't imagine how thin I can get when I go down a chimney. It's a sort of a magical thing.
It's something that it is your own. Mm-hmm. Let's there's a question too that we get a lot of because of where we are here, because of the military people here in town. Emily says, my Christmas present was my dad because he's stationed in Germany with the Army. I know you've gotten questions where kids go, I want my dad to come home, and they're stationed all over the world, or I want my mom to come home. But this is a thing where you have to let the mom and dads do what they need to do. Explain how this works when kids are wishing for something that when their parents, because of the call of duty, is maybe a long way off.
Well, at any moment in time, you can close your eyes and see your dad or your mom in your mind. And know that one of the things that they enjoy the most is to see you smile, to see you grow on a daily basis. And although they aren't there with you for that moment, there will be a moment when they do get off that plane. And at that point in time, all other things are forgotten. The joy of being together again becomes the most poignant thing for them.
But I love to close your eyes and think of them. They'll be there. Great answer, Santa. Let's check back in with the elves here. We probably got another couple of minutes left, I believe.
All right. Justin Yates from Albertville was wondering what kind of cookies Miss Claus fixes for you. And then we had another viewer that wanted to know what your favorite holiday song is.
Yeah, the cookies. What kind of cookies do you get, and what's your favorite holiday song?
Oh my goodness. There are so many songs, it's hard to pick a specific one. When I'm in a parade, I love Here Comes Santa Claus. The Christmas hymns that we sing all year long, the other songs that we listen to, because we have our own DJ that plays constantly. There are so many favorites. I couldn't be that specific to one. But it's I guess that's the best that I can find.
My favorite is Springsteen's version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Bruce Springsteen doing Santa Claus Coming to Town just rocks. I just love it. It's awesome. Let's check back in with the elves. Do we have anything else?
Yes, this is from Elena. Elena says, Dear Santa, I want an iPod Touch for Christmas. And what's your favorite color?
What's your favorite color? I think I know. I think I can pin that down to 2.
My favorite color
is red. Red, absolutely.
Red and deep burgundy. It's a bright color. It gives life to everything, just like these poinsettias that are in front of us.
And just want to remind the kids out there, and again, we're getting so many emails, so many responses. We're going to get them all together. We're going to make sure Santa leaves here, and he's heading out pretty quick when we're done here. But before we start to wrap this up, elves, do we have anything else we need to do with you guys that y'all want to get in before we let Santa wrap this up?
I think we've got lots of emails over here. We'll just tell everybody that we're going to print these off and make sure that Santa gets a copy of them. And there's so many sweet things that they're saying over here. We're just real excited that they're sharing them with us.
Elf Lori, Elf Aaron, and Elf Becky. And as we wrap it up, and again, I want to thank you for coming in because I know you're extremely busy and there's a lot going on and you got a big day. But just give us some of your thoughts, because a lot of people, there are people who are having the best of times. There are people who are struggling. There are people that are, all across the gamut of emotions here. What advice would you give? What would you say to somebody for something that they need to go into Christmas with and that they need to come out of Christmas with?
First off, this is a season of giving. The anonymous gift is the thing that St. Nicholas became most known for. The season is the birth of the Christ child. Depending upon your religious beliefs, it is called Christ Mass. So the joy that we share as humanity, the positive things that we feel for our fellow man, the friendships that we build, the loves that we have are the foundation to everything that's in our heart. And to continue that, to keep that fire alive, is the purpose of life.
Very good. Glad you're here. I wish we could see you more throughout the year, but I know you're relaxing some.
Thank you.
Santa, you're the man. Thank you very much, kids. And again, we're going to repeat that the questions that didn't get in, Santa will leave here with all of your questions. And again, thank you for watching as we stream this live on WHNT.com. This man, Santa Claus, is going to go get busy, and he's going to get even busier on Christmas Eve.
Ho, 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 ho.